Let's study modal verbs in a way you can easily understand and remember them. We'll look at must, should, can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, and other related verbs. I'm going to tell you a story, a mystery about 4 friends who meet again after 10 years. Something goes missing, and everyone has a theory. What must be true? What might be happening? By the end of the lesson, you won't just understand modal verbs, you'll have a better feel for how they work. Ready? The title of our story is The Mystery of the Missing Keepsakes. What's a keepsake? It's something we keep to remember someone or something. Another word you need to know is inn, which is a small hotel, usually in the countryside. Hotels have managers. Who runs an inn? An innkeeper. Okay, let's start. Introduction. 10 years after high school, 4 friends reunite at a quiet countryside inn. They come to relax, reconnect, and leave their busy lives behind, just for a weekend. Each of them brings something meaningful from their school days. But after the first night, something feels off. 4 objects are missing, and someone at the inn might know more than they're saying. Grammar check. Might is a modal verb. What does it express? As in, someone might know more. Ability, strong necessity, weak certainty, permission. Answer C, weak certainty. We don't have 100% certainty, but it's possible that someone knows something. Someone possibly has useful information. Remember that modal verbs are helping verbs, and they don't change form to show number, so don't add on S or ES. We use a base verb after a modal verb, as in might have, might know. Chapter 1, Arrival at the Liebram House. Maya, Jacob, Lucas, and Claire arrive at the Liebram House just before sunset. They haven't all been together in years, but they can still talk and laugh the way they used to. When Claire says they should do this more often, Lucas replies that the next time they might gather sooner and not wait another 10 years. In their rooms, each of them unpacks something personal. Maya places her yearbook on the nightstand. Jacob carefully sets out a track medal he won senior year. Claire puts her class ring near the bathroom mirror. Lucas lays an old group snapshot of the 4 friends on his dresser. At dinner, the innkeeper greets them warmly. Her name is Mrs. Harper. She mentions the library and says they may use it if they want a quiet place to sit and talk. Before heading to bed, Jacob says, "We should get some sleep. Tomorrow will be a long day." Grammar check. Can is our next modal verb. It often expresses ability, as in they can still laugh and talk. Remember that can has a full and reduced pronunciation. Before a base verb, we can reduce the A in can to a schwa sound. It's weak and very relaxed. Can laugh, can talk. This story is being told in the present tense. The friends can still laugh and talk the way they used to. If we want to talk about past ability, we use could. They could always find something to talk about. This means they were always able to find something to talk about. Claire and Lucas both say they should gather more often. What does this express? Ability, necessity, certainty, permission. Answer B, necessity, a degree of necessity. Should isn't the strongest modal verb. It expresses a sense of obligation. We can also use it for advice, like Jacob did. We should get some sleep. When the innkeeper says, "You may use the library," what is she doing? Giving permission, offering advice, giving a warning. Answer A. She's the owner. She has the right to say which rooms the guests have permission to use. Note, in everyday informal English, we can use can for permission. You can use the library. May is more polite. Finally, when Jacob says, "Tomorrow will be a long day," what is he doing? Making an invitation, offering a suggestion, making a prediction. Answer C, making a prediction. Jacob doesn't know for sure. He's guessing about the future. Will can be used for predictions. You know what else Jacob can say in this situation? Tomorrow is going to be a long day. Is going to be. Be going to, like will, can be used for predictions. Will is a modal verb. With be going to, we have the verb be, which changes to show number and tense. Chapter 2, The Discovery. The next morning, everything changes. Maya reaches for her yearbook. It's gone. Jacob checks his desk. His medal is missing. Claire can't find her ring. Lucas looks at the dresser, and the snapshot is gone. At first, no one panics, but it's strange that they all lost something. These things may not be missing. They could simply be misplaced, Claire says. But they can't have all disappeared, Lucas replies. Jacob frowns. Someone must have taken them. Maya shakes her head. They might have been moved by staff during cleaning. But the doors were locked, Jacob says. Housekeeping shouldn't have been in our rooms. No one is accusing anyone, but the silence feels heavy. Grammar check. Modal verbs don't change their form to show number, but there are other forms we use. Can you match these examples to the grammar patterns they use? May not be missing is a progressive form. So we use modal plus be plus the ing form of the main verb. Could be misplaced. This is passive. So we have a modal verb plus be plus the past participle. For a regular verb, that's the ed ending. Must have taken. This is a perfect form. We have a modal verb plus have plus the past participle. This perfect modal allows us to refer to the past, a past action. Might have been moved. We have 3 helping verbs. The main verb is moved. What is this? It's a perfect modal in the passive voice. Might have been moved. So might, modal verb, plus have been, plus the past participle. So we're talking about something in the past, and we're shifting the focus to whatever received the action, the objects, the keepsakes. The objects were moved. We're not sure, so we're expressing a degree of certainty. Perhaps, maybe, they might have been moved. Let's talk about negative forms. We can use not after a modal verb, may not, could not, must not, and so on. With can, we have a unique situation where we can form a single word and it's negative, cannot. But in everyday English, we use the contraction can't. Sometimes we have to very clearly say the short A sound so that people understand if we're saying the affirmative or the negative. Can, can't. Other modal verbs use the same ending in the contraction, N''T. Shouldn't, couldn't, won't, mustn't. Actually, mustn't isn't used that often, and the negative contractions for may and might sound really weird to my ears. Just use the full forms, might not, may not. If you need help with the pronunciation of contractions, check out my digital bundle. The link is in the video description. Next, when Jacob says, housekeeping shouldn't have been in our rooms, what is true? A, he feels the staff didn't have a choice? Or B, he feels the staff wasn't supposed to be there? Answer B. Should is similar to be supposed to. They both can express an expectation. Let's talk about the perfect modal, can't have all disappeared. It's also possible to say, couldn't have all disappeared. In the perfect form, there often isn't a difference between can't have done and couldn't have done. But if there's present disbelief about a past event, can't have done works well. That's strong certainty about something being impossible. A lot of the time for past impossibility, we use couldn't have done. We also use could have and the negative couldn't have done in unreal conditional sentences. For example, if someone had a key to all the rooms, they could have used it last night. Can you identify strong and weak forms of certainty? Put these verbs in order of certainty, with the strongest at the top. At the top, we'll put can't have all disappeared. Another strong form is must have taken. The weaker forms are may not be missing, might have been moved, and finally, could simply be misplaced. Note how can in the affirmative expresses a possibility, but in the negative, can't is very strong. It expresses impossibility. Must is also very strong, not 100% certainty, but close. May and might are both weak. Some people feel that may is slightly stronger, but a lot of people use these two modal verbs to mean the same thing. They're both expressing something that's possible, maybe even likely, but it's a weaker form of certainty. This is how you can view modals of certainty. Chapter 3, The Library Conversation. The friends try to enjoy their day, and later in the evening they gather in the inn's library, surrounded by shelves of old books. Lucas lowers his voice. Someone could have entered our rooms while we were sleeping. But why steal keepsakes and not our wallets or phones? Claire adds, the innkeeper might recognize us. Does she look familiar to you? She's been watching us closely. Jacob hesitates. How could she have known the sentimental value? Maya thinks for a moment. If this is intentional, then whoever did it must be trying to tell us something. Lucas says, we have to be careful. We don't want to make false accusations. Jacob sighs. We ought to talk to her, but I'm not sure how. Claire glances at the clock. It's late. Maybe we'd better wait until morning. Maya says, shall we sleep on it and decide what to do tomorrow? No one argues. Grammar check. Semi-modal verbs or semi-modal verbs are multi-word verbs that can basically express the same ideas as modal verbs. We saw earlier how will is similar to be going to, and can and could are similar to be able to when talking about ability. And we saw how should is similar to be supposed to. If must is the strongest modal for certainty and necessity, what other verb is similar in meaning and degree? Have to, ought to, had better? Answer A. Lucas says we have to be careful. He could also say we must be careful. But have to is more common in everyday English, and we say it as have to. We have to be careful. In this example, we're expressing strong necessity. Must and have to express strong necessity or strong certainty. Both ought to and had better express strong obligation. What are they most similar to? Could, may, should? Answer C. Jacob says we ought to talk to her. He could also say we should talk to her. Notice the pronunciation with ought to often becomes oughta. Had better is slightly stronger. It's like adding really to should. Maybe we'd better wait until morning. We really should wait until morning. Finally, you saw use of shall. This modal verb is not common in American English, but if we use it, it's usually in the form of a question. What was Maya doing when she asked, "Shall we sleep on it?" Issuing a warning, making a prediction, making a suggestion. Answer C, making a suggestion. At this point, let me ask you to identify strong and weak forms of necessity. Put these verbs in order with the strongest at the top. At the top is have to be careful. It's like saying must be careful. Next, had better wait. And then ought to talk to her, which is most similar to should talk to her. This is how you can view modals of necessity. Ready for part 4? First, tap that like button if you're enjoying the story. Chapter 4, Solving the Mystery. The next morning, the friends wake up unsure what to expect. The objects might have been returned overnight, or the mystery could be deeper than they thought. Mrs. Harper may already be waiting for them downstairs, or she might be hiding something from her own past. Wait a second, didn't a librarian named Mrs. Harper used to work at the school library a long time ago? What the friends do next will change the weekend, and maybe how they see their past. What would you do if you were in their place? Final grammar check. Look at the sentence about Mrs. Harper, the innkeeper. She may already be waiting for them downstairs. Where is the adverb, already? Where is it placed? After the first helping verb. This is important. If you have more than one helping verb, put the adverb after the first. May already be waiting. Okay? Note that tip for good word order. Okay, it's your turn to put modal verbs into practice. Here's your writing task. What must have happened to the missing objects? Use at least one modal verb to express necessity, certainty, possibility. Please review the story, the examples, and the charts as needed. If you'd like more practice and interaction and feedback, consider joining the English with Jennifer community on Patreon, where we practice all skills for confident, effective communication. The link is in the video description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy studies.